Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and welcome to the Academic channel. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss about a JSON doc and then we will see how to integrate the JSON doc with your Spring Boot application, and also we will see how to create the documentation of your RESTful web services or the endpoints available in your application by using a JSON doc. So like in the previous lecture or the last lecture, I have already uploaded a lecture on a Swagger, and there I had like told you how to like integrate the Swagger with your Spring Boot application. And also there I have discussed how to create the documentation of your RESTful web services or the REST API or the endpoints available in your project with the help of a Swagger. So guys, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about a JSON doc. So guys, let's start the session. So first of all, I'm going to discuss about like what is a JSON doc. So JSON doc is a Java library and useful to build the documentation of your RESTful web services. And a JSON doc is a framework. So why we call a JSON doc as a framework? Because it means that you can use the JSON doc core module with any MVC like framework, and it has a Spring MVC module. It means that it is useful if your application already uses the Spring MVC and a starter for a Spring Boot. And a JSON doc has a UI module. So why it has a UI module? It is like useful to generate or to display the generated document and also include a playground to test your API method. It means that you don't need to go for a third party API tool like a Postman to test your API method. Instead of that, you can use the JSON doc itself to test your API method, right? And like it is a very lightweight, it is like a less than a 250 kb. So today in this lecture we are going to discuss about a JSON doc. So for that I am going to create a Spring Boot application, and for that I will use a Spring Initializer, right? So directly let's jump into my Chrome, and here you can see that in my browser I have opened a Spring Initializer website, and from here I am going to create a Spring Boot application. So this is my like a Maven project, and Java I'm using as a language, and the Spring Boot 2.3.4. So let me change the group name. So let's change the artifact name, and packaging as jar I will keep, and the Java 8 I will use for this lecture. So now it's time to add some dependencies. So here I will add Spring Wave. I will also add Spring Boot Dev tool so that my project get automatically restart after like adding or like editing my application. And I will use S2 database, and like it is an integrated database to save some data, right? And then I will use like Spring Data JPA for my repository. So these are the four dependencies I have added to my application. So now let's generate it. So here it is going to generate or download in a G format. So we need to extract it. So let's go to the downloaded folder and extract it here. Now let's go to my Eclipse IDE, and here I will import that downloaded project. So provide the path, select the project, open it and finish it. So here I have successfully imported my like JSON doc project inside my Eclipse workspace. So now let us start our session. So guys, here I am going to create all the packages which I'm going to use in this session. So let me copy this package name. So guys, inside the Java folder, we need to create the packages. So first package I will create as a model to create my model class. So let's create another package. Let's say package for the service. So here I am going to create my service class inside the service package. So let's add another package, DAO. So here I am going to create my DAO layer or my like a repository class or a DAO class inside this package. So let's add one more package. with the name controller. So inside this controller package, I'm going to create my controller class or the REST controller class. So guys, I have created all the packages now. So let me create a model class or entity class. So create a model class inside my model package with the name student. So this will be my entity class, right? So for that, I am going to annotate this class with the entity, and also I will annotate this class with a table, so that I want that the table with the name student should be created inside my S2 database, right? And here the student class has like the three property: ID, name, and the course. So let me define it here. So ID will be of integer type, and the name of the student will be of a string type, and the course will be also a string type. So these are the three properties or the attributes I have added to my student class. And I want that ID should be my primary key. So at the rate ID, and I want that ID should be auto generated. So annotate with the generated value. And I want to implement this entity student class with a serializable interface. And here I need to generate serial version ID. So now I am going to create a parametric constructor for this class. Now going to generate like a default constructor for this class. So this select all, generate. Now I will generate the getter and the setter method for this class to set the course or to get the course, to set the ID or to set the name or to get the name, right? Now I'm going to generate one toString method also for this class. So guys, I have created my entity class with the name student, and here you can see that I have annotated this class with the entity and at the table, so that my table will be created with the name student. And my ID is my auto generated, and also it is a primary key, right? So these are the three attributes I have added to my student entity class. Now let's generate one like a DAO layer. So for that, I'm going to generate one repository here. So let me add an interface inside my DAO package. So this will be like a student repository. So I will extend this with a JPA repository. So here I'm going to use a JPA repository for like the CRUD operations, like to save the data, to get all the data, and to delete the data from the database. So inside the generic, I need to pass first the entity class. So entity class name is like student. And the ID, we have to pass the data type of my primary key. So it is like integer, I believe. Yeah. So you can check it here. It is of integer type. So here I am passing integer, right? So I have created one student repository class, and like it like interface, and like it is extending with a JPA repository. And here I am using a JPA repository for the basic CRUD operations, like to save and to get all the data from the database, and also to delete some student according to the ID from the S2 database, right? So now let's generate one service class inside my service package. So like it is my service class, so I have to mark this with a service annotation, right? So here I am going to inject my like the student repository class reference variable. So let me first inject it, student repository reference variable name as repository, and I will annotate this with a auto var. Now inside this service class, I am going to create the three method. The first method is to save a new student inside my S2 database, and then a method to get all the student object available in my S2 database inside my table student, and then a method to delete a particular student from my S2 database with a table student with a particular ID. So let's create one method to save a student inside my S2 database. So I will keep string as a return type, save student. So this is going to take the student entity. So repository dot, we have a method inside our JPA repository provide a method like save, and it has an argument as entity. So we are going to use this method to save a student object inside my database. So import this student with a correct model package. So we need to return some string value. So let me return a dummy string here. Somewhat it says like saved student with ID, and let's do one thing. Let's pass some ID here with the student dot get ID, right? So here we are like returning as a response a string value saved student with ID and the student dot get ID, right? So this is the method to save a new student inside my database. Now let's create another method to get all the student available in my S2 database. So here the return type will be list and the generic as student. Get all student. So repository, and here the JPA repository like provide a find all method, and like its return type is list, you can see, and here we can like return all the student object available in my S2 database. So import this with the util. So now we need to add a return type also. So let me add a return type, right? So guys, we have also created one method to get all the students from my database. Now let's create one more method to just to delete a student according to the ID. And here I want to keep the return type as a like a list, because I want that I want to delete like guys, I want to return the list of the student after deleting that particular student. So here I want to return all the available student after deleting a particular student. So delete student, and here I will pass one ID, right? So repository dot, and here we are getting a method from my JP repository as a delete by ID. Yes, delete by ID, and here the argument we need to pass the ID. So this is the ID, right? And here we need to return. So let me add a return, and then repository dot find all. So find all method is going to fetch all the student present in my database after deleting this student, right? So here I'm returning a list of student because it is going to fetch all the student like after deleting that student. So these are the like the method I have like implemented in my service class to save a new student in my database, to get all the student from the database, and also a delete a student with a particular ID. So now I'm going to create a like a DAO layer. So let's go to my controller, and here we need to create one more class, somewhat name with student controller. So this will be me a REST controller. So for that, I will mark this with a REST controller, right? And now I will inject like a student service object here. So for that, we need to write a private student service. @AutoWire. So now I'm going to create the endpoint, like the three endpoints to save a student, and also an endpoint to get all the student available in the student database, and an endpoint to delete a student according to the ID. So let's create one endpoint with the return type of string to save student. So call here service. So we have a method like save student, right? And here we are passing student object. It means that we have to take here the student entity class. So add return statement here. So we have created one method. So let me import this with the model. And here guys, we need to annotate with the annotation like a post mapping. And but guys, here the post mapping does not work with the JSON doc. So we need to write here, or like we need to use the at the rate, like a request mapping annotation, and then inside that argument I will provide the value, the URL value, and also a method as a post, right? So here like the post mapping annotation does not work with the JSON, so we need to use a request mapping, and in the argument I will assign the value as save student, and as a method I will use like request method dot. I will use the HTTP post method to save a new student inside my database. So here guys, at the rate post mapping does not work with the JSON, so that's why I'm using at the rate request mapping, and here I'm providing the URL inside my value key, and also here inside my method I am writing request method dot post, so that it will be called when we are like requesting with the HTTP post method. So this is the endpoint for saving a student inside my database, right? Now so here guys, we need to write at the rate request body, because we are getting this like the student from my request like header. So we need to like annotate a request body to take the student object from my request header, or from the request body of my request. So now let's create one more endpoint for getting all the student available in my S2 database. So this will be of list return type, get all student. Return, here I will call service. So I have created a method called get all student method. So it is going to return all the student available in my database. So in the same way, here the get mapping annotation does not work. So we need to write or use at the rate mapping annotation, and in the argument I will use the value as the URL like get all student, and in the method part I will do request method dot. I will use here a get method, HTTP get method, to get all student, right? So this is the endpoint for getting all the student available in my database. Now let's write one more endpoint for deleting the particular student according to the ID. So here I am using the list return type, because here it is going to return the list of the student available after deleting this particular student. Delete student. So here we need to pass the ID. Service dot delete student, and here we need to pass the ID. So in the same way, at the rate, like the delete mapping annotation is not going to supported by JSON doc. So here we will use request mapping, and in the argument I will pass the value as the URL delete student. Then the method I will use like the method, we have the HTTP method with the delete, right? So here I am using the HTTP delete method for deleting a student, and here I am passing the ID. So here we need to pass the ID in my like the URL. So for that I need to assign ID in a curly braces, and here we need to fetch or store this ID from the URL. So here I am going to use the path, the path variable annotation to take this ID from my URL. All right. So here with the URL, we are going to pass the ID for which we are going to want to delete that student according to this ID from the database. So these are the three endpoints I have written to my controller class, right? And now guys, this is my endpoint, so we need to generate the JSON doc for these endpoints, right? For these three endpoints. So for that we need to add some like a dependency inside my form.xml to download the jar regarding my JSON. So let's open form.xml, and here already I have saved a template for my like dependencies. Let me copy it and let me paste inside my form.xml. So here I am using these two dependencies. Like first with the artifact name as a Spring Boot starter JSON doc, and also artifact ID with the JSON doc UI wave jar for my UI integration or the UI template. Right. So these are the two dependencies you have to add if you want to use the JSON doc, so that it is going to download the jar in your application. Let me save it. So till the time it will download it, right? So now guys, I need to activate, or actually I need to enable the JSON doc to my project. So for that we need to activate by writing the annotation. So go to my like the main class of my Spring Boot, and here we need to write one annotation with the enable JSON doc. And guys, this enable JSON doc is going to appear only if you are using or like you have imported this dependency inside your form.xml. It means that if you have used this like this like the JSON doc inside your application, then only it is going to pop out inside your main class. Otherwise, it is like it is not going to show it up there if you have not imported these dependencies inside your form.xml, right? So let me open my main class again. Yeah. So here we have enabled JSON doc, right? So now guys, we need to assign the scan path. It means that we need to assign some properties in my application.property file, so that it is going to scan the path or the classes for which it is going to create the documentation or a JSON documentation. So let's go to our resource folder, and here we can find our application property file. So we need to assign some like the property for the JSON, so that it can scan some classes for which I want to create the JSON doc. So already I have saved this template, so let me copy it, and then I will explain you. So here I am using like a JSON doc version 1.0, and the JSON doc dot base path will be my HTTP localhost 8080 uh, like the port number, and then I'm using a JSON doc package as an error, like as an error in the index 0. I'm passing the like here we need to pass the like the package name of my controller. So here you can see that my controller class is under my this package, right? So we need to change this, and we need to make the same as the package name. So this is like JSON doc, right? So com.xadmin.json.doc.controller, right? So this is my package name, and inside this package name we have a controller class, right? So it is going to scan this controller class, and then it is going to create the document for this controller itself, and here you have to assign the path, right? And in the like in the first index of the array of this package, I have also defined the model class, like package name. So this is all in the capital, like, so let me match it. JSON doc model, right? So these are the two classes I want that. All right, I want that the JSON should create the documentation for these two classes. Otherwise, you can add the more classes here if you want, by making it like the array like 2, 3, 4, right? And you can here add the more path or the package name for which you want to create the documentation. So here I will use only controller and model class to create the documentation. So let me save it. So save all. I guess I have done all the implementation of the configuration. Now let me start my application or run as application. So run as a Java application. So here you can see that our application has started on 8080 port number. So let's jump into my Chrome, and here let's hit the JSON doc URL, and we are using on 8080. So we have the URL with the name the JSON doc-ui.html. So hit it. So here we have opened our JSON doc, and now we need to insert here the JSON doc URL. So you have to copy the URL till the JSON doc from here, and you have to paste it here, right? HTTP localhost 8080 slash the JSON doc, and then you need to generate, and then you need to click on the generate documentation. So guys, you can see that we are able to create the documentation of our application, right? And here we have the base path showing, and the version 1.0, and this is my API, and this is my object. It means this is my model class, right? In the student, you can see that we have the course ID, name, and the serial ID, right? So these are the fields of my entity class, student class, and this is the model here. All right, now let's go to our API. Let's click on student controller, and here you can see that we got the three endpoints, like with the URL get all student and the delete student, and also a save student. So let's expand one by one, and let's see what we are getting. So this is the path, and this is like a produces, we are producing in a JSON, and we are also consuming in a JSON, right? And here response status is okay, okay, 200, and this is like a response object we are getting in a list, so it is showing in a list of student, right? So now what I'm going to do, so let's hit the submit. So here you can see that we are getting response as because we don't have any object inside our table, so that's why it is giving us like an array with a blank array, right? Now I want to post some, or like insert some student object inside my table. So let's check my post endpoint, that whether it is working or not. So let's hit it. So here you can see that we have the path with a save student and produce as JSON, consume as JSON, and this is the body object as student, right? So here you can see that we got a body object. So guys, with the JSON doc, we can send a request, or we can test our API method that whether it is working or not. So guys, we don't need the the third party tool like the Postman or the other tools to test our API method. Instead of that, we can use our JSON doc itself to test our API method that whether they are working or not, right? So here I'm going to send the JSON format, like the request body. So here my ID was auto generated, right? So I will remove this ID from here. So let me enter the course name, the xadmin. Mm, There's Java is my course name, and the student name I want to pass is Ashish. And here I don't want to pass the serial version ID, right? So these are the two information in a JSON format I am sending to the request, right? So let me hit the submit button, or let's see that whether it is working or not. So we hit the submit button and we got in a response as a string saved student with ID 1. It means that our API is working fine and it is saving a new student in my H2 database, right? So now let me add one more object of the student. So let me change this name with something like xadmin string Spring Boot course. Let me change the student name with Bhagat. And now let's hit the request. So same wise, guys, you can see that we got save student with the ID 2. It means that now we have saved the two student object inside my H2 database. Now let's check the get method and now just fetch all the student available, right? So here you can just hit the submit button, and guys, you can see that in the response we are getting the two object in my JSON format with the ID 1 and with the ID 2. It means that we are able to save the data in my database, and guys, we have created the documentation, and with the documentation you can see that like the what type of request body you are using and what are the models of my like student API, right? So this is the model and this is all the fields which are available in my entity class. So with this document, we can clearly see what are the requirement for the resources for these endpoint. And here we have created the documentation of my endpoint, right? And here, guys, you can see that we are getting some hints to provide a better understanding of your API. Add description to field course, add description to ID, right? In the same way we might get in the API also. All right, so guys, in the same way you can like check the delete here, and all right, and like here you need to pass the ID and you have to submit. So guys, it is going to delete that particular student ID from the database. All right, so guys, you can check by yourself. So now I'm going to show you the more functionality or the feature of this, like the JSON doc is like, guys, here you can see in the hint we are showing hint to provide a better understanding of your API, add description to API method. So now I'm going to add the description for the better understanding or for the better name. All right, so for that what we can do, we can go to our Eclipse and let's provide some like the meaningful description for my methods and the the model we are using. So first of all, I'm going to my controller class, and here I'm going to use at the rate API annotation, and in the argument I'm going to pass the name. Let's say I will put this name as a student API. All right, so I have built a student API. Now let's add some description. In the description I will put like student management management system. Yeah, let's put it system. Now I am going to put a group, so inside which group it is going to add. So I will keep it as a student, so it will come in a string. Yeah, now next I'm going to put like the visibility for this API, so I will keep as a like a public. All right, let's see what we are getting. So API visibility dot, we are getting private public, so let's keep it as a public, right? Now the next I will add some stage for this API. So here my API stage is, let's say it is on my like the alpha or the beta. So let's say it is on the beta version. So we can assign the stage also here like the beta. All right. So guys, here I have assigned like the description and the name as a student API description, this and the group and the visibility as a public I have kept, and the stage is like in the beta version. All right. So guys, in the same way we can assign the annotation and the more information about this method. So let's add some like the description for this save method. So here in the same way I can use the API. We have a method like a API method idea, API method, and here I will use like a description. So let add some description like add a new student, right? So let's add some description for my get all student also. Description. So let's add description like get all student, right? Now let's add description for my delete student also. Let's add remove student, remove student by ID, and let's keep the path. Let's add some path value as, let's say, we can add ID, right? So yeah, and for this also we need to add one like the annotation for the ID, like API. We have a API path param. Yeah, we got it, API path param. And here we need to put the argument as description, and here you can provide some like the description for this, like a student ID. All right, and also you can provide name if you want. uh, like name, you can put anything, like I will add the name as ID itself. Yeah, so student ID and the name ID, right? So these are the description I have added to my like the method with the API method annotation. And here we need to, and here if we need to pass some description for the path param, then we have the annotation like at the rate API path param. And here you can add description like this is a student ID, and name you can keep it as a ID or anything you want, right? So these are the like the more feature you can add with the JSON to provide the meaningful description for your method, right? So now in the same way you can provide the meaningful description for your student model class also. So let me open it and let me show you. So here we have to annotate this with the API object, I guess. Yeah, API object annotation. And then in the same way you can provide the description annotation for, like we have a API object field for the attributes or the field. So in the same way you can provide the name. Let's say you have the name as a student. So this is a student ID, right? So in the same way you can provide the description here, like this is uh, say auto generated ID, right? So this is the description I have added. Now let's add some description to the name. So you have to use API object field. In the same way you can provide the name. Let's say you can provide the name as a student name. This is the student name. In the same way you can provide the description for this field as this is the student name. So let's add some description for the course also, API object field. And then let's provide some name, let's say student course. And in the description part you can add like something, sorry, let's say something, this is student selected course, right? So these are the annotation you can use to provide some description or the name for our field. So API object field is the annotation for providing the description and the name for your field, and you have to annotate with the API object class level annotation, right? So let me save this. So here you can see that our application is going to auto start because here we are using like the Spring Boot dev tool, right? So let's go to the Chrome, and here let's refresh the page and let's see that we have added the description is reflecting or not. So copy the URL doc here and hit the get documentary. So here you can see that we are able to see a student API, right? So open it, and here you can see that we are getting the description as the student management system, and here the name is like student API, and the description I have added as a student management system. So now you can see that it is looking like some like a meaningful name, right? So in the same way you can see we will get all the information here, like you can see that the visibility is public and the stage is beta and the description get all subject, right? So now we can see that we are getting a more meaningful names for our endpoint. So in the same way you can see for the save, public, beta and add new subject, right? In the same way for the delete also you can see public, beta, remove student by id. This is the description. It means that this endpoint is for remove student by id, and this is the required field description student id, right? So in the same way you can say for the object also, and here you get that student course. This is the student selected course, and student id field, this is the auto generated id, right? And type is integer and required is false, right? Student name is, this is student name. So in this way you can like assign a good name or a meaningful name or a description for your endpoints also and for your field also, right? So guys, in this lecture we have learned how to integrate a JSON doc to your Spring Boot application, and also we have seen how to create the documentation and what are the configurations are required for implementing the JSON doc with your Spring Boot application. And also we have seen the annotations to how to add some like the meaningful name for your model class and the model fields, and also for your like the endpoint method. So guys, this is all about a JSON doc. So thank you and have a nice day. See you in the next lecture. Bye bye.